Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Coffee with Cady. I have a latte in my Legends and Lattes mug. So cute, right? So today's video is actually kind of fun and different, and it's on a different schedule. But Becky from Bex Reads invited me to join in her Thanks book collab. This is a book collab where we're going to recommend books that spell out thanks or thankful or Thanksgiving, depending on how ambitious you are. I'm just going to be doing thanks, but this is a really cute collab, so Becky, thank you for including me. And check out Bex Reads and also the playlist that she will have up, because it'll have all of the contributors' videos in that playlist. So for my first letter, letter T, I'm going to recommend These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. If you like ACOTAR and Fae type of stories, I think you will like this book. You're following a main character who is a thief, and she has some sort of ability to kind of blend into the shadows, and she's not really sure where that comes from, as she is a human. And she has to steal to try to get her family out of debt. They just keep racking up debt after debt after debt, and it's her and her sister living with their evil aunt, and she just keeps raising their interest rate essentially, so it's like impossible for them to pay this off, and they're basically slaves. And she wants to save her younger sister from this, so she becomes a thief. And when she's out one night stealing, her sister is taken and sold to a fairy king in the other realm, and she wants to go save her sister, but the only way to do this is to kind of enter this magical competition for the prince in the Seelie court to find a wife. And her sister was taken by the Unseelie court, so there's like a lot of politics going on. So she goes into this rival court and enters this bridal competition essentially to try to save her sister. At least get into the world and get some influence to save her sister. And she has to steal the prince's heart to save her sister. So I really enjoyed this duology. I thought it was really good. It's very fun. It's a little bit heart-wrenching, and I would recommend you check it out if you haven't. For the letter H, we have Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. I read this for the first time and watched the movie for the first time this year, and I enjoyed both of them a lot. The book is very whimsical and magical and fantastical. You're following a girl who is cursed by a witch to be an old woman, even though she's only 17 and she's in the body of an old woman, and she's not sure how to break this curse, and so she goes out and seeks Howl, who is a wizard, in the hopes that he can help her break this curse somehow, but he is heartless, and she thinks that, and there's all these rumors that he is heartless and he eats girls' hearts and he's horrible, but she seeks him out because he's a wizard and she doesn't know what else to do. And the journey and magic just kind of go from there. She ends up getting into the moving castle that he lives in and seeing this fire demon in the fireplace and this boy that works for him. And she just kind of gets swept into this journey trying to figure out how to break the curse, and I really liked it. The movie and the book are very different, but I enjoyed both of them a lot. And for letter A, I recommend Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Maher. This is a really kind of different type of fantasy book. It is more of a fairy tale book, but it is also kind of a blend between medieval fairy tale and modern day office setting. And it's a really funny book because of that, but there is a plot, there is some other things going on, and there's kind of a cute developing romance crushing situation between the assistant and the villain. Evie is trying to secure a job so that she can earn money to save her family because her father is sick, and she's got a little sister she's trying to look after too. So she ends up getting a job offer from the villain, who is at war with the king. You know, he's like the stereotypical fairy tale villain where he's trying to thwart the king at every turn and has a bunch of plots and things hidden away, and he's got heads hanging from the ceiling and a dragon that he's trying to train and a lot of different things, but it kind of delves into who's actually the evil one. Is it the king or the villain? And because it's an office setting, it's really funny and humorous, where she's like, here's your cauldron, Brewster, and you have a meeting today at so-and-so. And she is his assistant, so she's in charge of helping him with the schedule. And he, as the villain who is supposed to not have feelings, be gruff and all this stuff and violent, has a soft spot for her, and he's like, I can't have this crush, I'm a villain. So the dynamic with that and the setting is very fun, and I think if you're looking for kind of a more cozy read, or at least more lighthearted and humorous, even though it does have some darker, funnier elements, I would recommend this. I really enjoyed it, but you have to go into it knowing that it's not taking itself as seriously as some other darker fantasy books. For the letter N, I recommend Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. This is the first book in the Morgan Crow series, and this is The Trials of Morgan Crow. I recently read this and really, really loved it. It was so fun, so cute, so adventurous. This is a middle grade. I remember laughing out loud a lot of the times. The characters are really great. I thought I would like it, but I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I love this series now, and I can't wait to continue it. But the way this was kind of pitched to me, and I understand why it is, it's kind of like a Harry Potter, a gender bent Harry Potter. So it's about a girl who goes kind of into this magical school, but it's a little bit different than that because the whole point of this book is that she is a cursed child, and in this world, cursed children are set to die on their 13th birthday, I believe it is. It might be their 12th birthday. And the wild hunt, essentially the shadow hunt, comes to kill her, but she is swept away by a magical man, Jupiter North, and taken into Nevermore to compete in trials to become a part of the Wondrous Society. And if she becomes a part of the Wondrous Society, she can stay in Nevermore and continue to study in the magical school and in the society. But if she loses, she'll have to go home where the hunt will be waiting for her. And like I said, I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would. There's a villain, there's a plot, there's humor, there's so many things going on. I love the trials. I can't wait to continue the story. I don't know how it's gonna go. This is projected to be a really long series, which is crazy to me since the 4th one hasn't even come out yet. But I'm excited to catch up and would highly recommend this if you like more lighthearted, humorous, magical, whimsical reads. Pick this up, especially if you like middle grade and you've been dragging your feet. The next letter is K, and honestly this one stumped me for a little bit, but for this one, I'm recommending Kiss of Death by Alice Wilde. This is book 1 in Tempting the Fates. I just read this in October and it was okay. It wasn't my favorite, but I think if you like fantasy romance that doesn't have a lot of spice in it, at least in the first book, and you want kind of like a Beauty and the Beast mixed with potentially Cinderella aspects, then you would like this. That's essentially where you're following a woman who her father has remarried, and instead of stepsisters, she has stepbrothers, and they treat her horribly, and she's in a horrible position, and she's treated like a slave, like Cinderella, and she ends up running away because of something that happens, and ends up kind of striking a deal with Death, who is this like personified person, but he's a fate, he's not human. And in that situation, it's kind of like a Beauty and the Beast situation, it seems. The ending was kind of interesting, but I thought it was just kind of an okay story, but I think I will finish the trilogy at least to see what happens. The idea is intriguing, so if you like it, but you don't need to be like super pulled in by the plot, because I think with a lot of retellings, you can kind of see how it's gonna go. So if that doesn't bother you, I would give this a try. And last but not least, letter S. For this one, I'm going to recommend Supernova by Marissa Meyer. This is a little bit different because this is the 3rd book in the series, so obviously you'd have to read the first ones first. But this is a urban fantasy YA series, and I really enjoyed it because it is like superheroes. So you're following the main characters, Adrian and Nova, world where the renegades are like the superheroes, but they're also kind of the police force and the political leaders. It's like all rolled into one, which could cause some problems, right? And it does, and the book kind of deals with how those things can come about. And on the other side of that, there are the anarchists who don't want them to have complete power, and they want to overthrow the government, but they're also the villains. And it gets into a lot of things politically and how you can see gray areas emerging when you want to do good, but you also may be taking people's rights away, and a lot of good commentary on that. But the main character, Nova, kind of goes undercover as an anarchist to try to join the renegades to basically take them down from the inside. And Adrian is a renegade, and he's the son of like the 2 big powers of the renegades. So they're on opposite ends of the spectrum, but they become really close. And I really enjoyed this trilogy. I thought it was really fun. I didn't love the ending, but it's one of those stories where you're not sure how it can end well. I really loved this. I loved that it was a superhero story. I loved that it was kind of funny, but also had a lot of drama and a lot of tension going about it, and twists and turns. So if you'd like more superhero-esque stories and that sounds pretty good, I would definitely check out this series because I really enjoyed it. Those are my recommendations for the Thanks or Thankful book collab. Thank you, Beccie, again for including me, and I look forward to seeing everyone's recommendations for this. But for now, that is it for today's video. Please like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time. Stay safe and caffeinated. Bye.